The night before the wedding, my fiancé vanished. An Instagram post shattered my world. He was thousands of miles away, tangled up naked with my best friend. 5 years of love destroyed in an instant. Drowning my sorrows in the rain, I stumbled into the best man's arms only to spot a scar on his arm I'd been searching for years. He was the savior from my deepest memories. My fiancé hadn't just stolen my love, he'd stolen my faith. This wedding? Calling it off is just the appetizer. The real show is about to begin. Tomorrow is the day I, Ava Miller, am supposed to marry Ethan Hayes. The champagne tower is assembled, pure white roses carpet the church aisle, and my wedding dress hangs silently in the closet like a sleeping dream. But it's 11 o'clock at night and my future husband Ethan Hayes is unreachable. I dial his number over and over only to be met with the cold mechanical voice. The user you are calling is currently unavailable. First it was busy signals. Now it just won't connect at all. My heart sinks stone by heavy stone into the abyss. We've been together for 5 years, from college sweethearts to navigating the professional world. Ethan has always been considerate, attentive. His phone was never off, never unanswered when I called. Tomorrow is our wedding. What possible reason could he have to disappear? A chilling premonition grips me, my fingers turning white from clutching my phone. I try to reassure myself. Maybe his battery died. Maybe the pre-wedding party was too loud. Maybe. But these maybes can't even convince myself. He told me this afternoon he had to go to the office to handle an urgent project. Something for the San Francisco branch. He promised he'd be back quickly, told me to relax and focus on tomorrow. San Francisco. Thousands of miles away. But I trusted him. After 5 years, that trust felt as natural as breathing. He'll know. Now that trust is starting to crumble. Restlessly, I pace the room, trying to suppress the mounting panic in my chest. Mindlessly, I swipe open my phone, tapping into Instagram. Pinned at the top is a post from my best friend Chloe Bishop. A photo leaps out, nailing me to the spot. My blood runs cold. The background is a dimly lit, unmistakably intimate hotel room. Chloe, dressed in a sexy silk nightgown, is nestled against a man's chest, laughing with abandon, her eyes hazy with pleasure. That man. His profile is so familiar it makes my heart clench. Even more damning is the watch on his wrist. The limited edition Patek Philippe I bought him for his birthday last year, saving up for 3 months. It has a tiny unique scratch on the side of the face, one I accidentally made. An unmistakable scratch. It's Ethan. It's him, Ethan Hayes. My fiancé. The photo's location tag screams San Francisco. The time, the place. They perfectly match his excuse from this afternoon, yet deliver the cruelest blow. So the urgent project was rolling around in bed with my best friend in an intimate hotel room thousands of miles away. My mind goes blank. A roaring fills my ears, drowning out the beat of my own heart. That photo is a poison dagger plunged precisely into my heart and twisted viciously. Chloe Bishop. My best friend since high school, practically inseparable. She's supposed to be my maid of honor tomorrow. I even joked with her about handing the bouquet directly to her. How utterly ironic. She took my trust, slept with my man, and is now flaunting it silently, provocatively on social media for me to see. Underneath the photo, a caption: the best times with the right person. The right person. I stare at the picture, at Ethan's hand resting on Chloe's waist, at their intimate embrace. Awe rises in my throat. My fingers tremble as I dial Ethan's number again. This time, unbelievably, it rings. After a few rings, he picks up. Ethan's voice is rough with sleep or a hangover laced with impatience. Ava? What's up this late? In the background, I can faintly hear a soft feminine voice tinged with laughter. Who is it, Ethan? It's Chloe. I'd know her voice anywhere. In that instant, any lingering hope shatters into dust. My voice shakes uncontrollably. Ethan, where are you? I'm in San Francisco dealing with work stuff, didn't I tell you? His tone is calm, almost annoyed, as if I'm questioning him unfairly. It's late. We have to be up early tomorrow. I'm hanging up. Dealing with work stuff? I almost laugh, but tears spill first. Dealing with work stuff with Chloe Bishop in an intimate hotel room? Silence on the other end. Just for a few seconds. I can almost picture the fleeting panic on his face, quickly masked by indifference. Ava, can you stop being irrational? His voice turns cold. I'm really busy here. The project hit a snag and Chloe happened to be here on business too, so we discussed it together. Discussed it. My voice rises sharp and high. Discussed it all the way into bed. Ethan Hayes. Look at that picture on Instagram and tell me again you were just discussing things. More silence. Longer this time. Then in a tone I've never heard before, utterly freezing, he says, since you've seen it there's nothing left to say. Ava, maybe we need to reconsider things between us. Reconsider. I'm shaking with fury. On the night before our wedding you tell me we need to reconsider? I'm tired. I don't want to fight. Let's deal with tomorrow. And then he hangs up. The dial tone buzzes in my ear, a relentless mockery of my stupidity, my naivety. The phone slips from my hand, thudding softly onto the carpet. I collapse onto the floor, tears streaming down my face, but no sound comes out. 5 years. 5 whole years. From innocent campus love to struggling young professionals building a life together, we went through so much. I thought we were each other's armor, an unbreakable alliance. I thought tomorrow I would be the happiest bride in the world. Instead, reality slapped me hard across the face. My fiancé and my best friend screwing around thousands of miles away in San Francisco on the night I lie awake anticipating our wedding. My love, my friendship, all demolished overnight. Like an elaborate scam, and I was the oblivious fool caught in the middle. My heart aches as if it's splitting open, a dense web of pain spreading through my limbs. Cancel the wedding. The thought flashes through my mind. Yes, I should cancel immediately. Expose these two despicable people for who they are. But tomorrow friends and family will be there. All the invited media reporters too. Canceling means admitting my failure, admitting I was betrayed by the people closest to me, becoming a laughingstock. I can already picture the looks. Pity, sympathy, maybe even smug satisfaction. No. I can't just surrender like this. Why should I? Why should I be the one paying for their mistakes, enduring all this alone? Why should they get to live it up while I'm left to slink away in shame? A surge of cold fury unlike anything she'd felt before welled up inside her. Wiping away her tears, she snatched her phone from the carpet. The wedding was still on. But Ethan Hayes and Chloe Bishop were not going to get away with this. They were going to pay. They were going to learn that Ava Miller was no pushover. This whole charade, she was calling the shots now. She needed to get it together. Her mind was a tangled mess, her heart still throbbed with pain, a suffocating blend of anger and humiliation threatening to consume her. Grabbing her coat, she bolted from the hotel room. It had started to rain outside, a cold, stinging drizzle that lashed against her face, bringing a brutal kind of clarity. The night wind whipped around her, damp and raw, her thin dress clinging to her skin. She walked aimlessly through the rain, letting the water wash over her face, mingling with the hot tears still streaming down. 5 years of love tossed away in a single night. Betrayal from her best friend, treachery from the man she loved. She felt like a clown abandoned by the world, left to lick her wounds alone in the icy rain. A wave of crushing sadness and helplessness washed over her, and finally she sank to her heels, wrapping her arms around her knees and sobbed uncontrollably. The rain was loud, drowning out her cries, masking the sound of footsteps approaching from behind. Suddenly a black umbrella appeared above her, shielding her from the icy downpour. Startled, she looked up, her vision blurred with tears, to see a face etched with gentle concern. It was Noah Vance. Ethan's best friend. And tomorrow his best man. Ava. Noah's voice held a mix of surprise and worry. What are you doing out here in the rain? Alone? What happened? He crouched down, angling the umbrella mostly over her, his own shoulder quickly soaking through. Seeing him, a jumble of emotions twisted inside her. He was Ethan's friend. Did he know about Ethan and Chloe? Was he here to defend Ethan or just a concerned passerby? Her tears flowed harder, choking her words. Noah didn't press her, just quietly took off his suit jacket and draped it around her shoulders, the warmth of it a small comfort against the chill. Don't cry, his voice was soft, soothing. Whatever happened, getting soaked in the rain isn't going to fix it. Let's get you up. I'll take you back. She shook her head, her voice hoarse. I don't want to go back. That room, filled with the sweet anticipation of a wedding that was supposed to happen, now felt like a suffocating prison. Noah was silent for a moment, then said, Oh, where do you want to go? Or we could find somewhere to sit down, get a hot drink, warm up. His eyes were clear, no judgment, no gossip, just genuine concern. After the betrayal she just endured, this simple kindness felt incredibly precious. She looked at him and almost against her will nodded. Noah led her to a quiet bar nearby. Dim lighting, soft music, a haven from the storm outside. He ordered her a hot chocolate and a whiskey for himself. The warmth spread down her throat, thawing her frozen body, but the ice in her heart remained solid. She didn't touch the hot chocolate and instead asked for a shot of the strongest liquor they had. Noah frowned slightly but didn't stop her. It's okay to drink, just take it easy, he murmured. She ignored him and tipped back the glass, swallowing half of it in one go. The raw liquid burned her throat, searing all the way down to her stomach, a painful kind of relief. Did you and Ethan have a fight? Noah asked hesitantly. Ava gave a bitter, humorless smile. A fight? You could say that. More like her whole world had imploded. But she didn't want to explain, not yet, not to Ethan's best friend. The alcohol was starting to take effect, loosening the knots of tension in her body, but the suppressed emotions were like a dam breaking, flooding her all at once. Tears started falling again, unstoppable. She drank one shot after another, trying to numb herself with the alcohol. Noah sat quietly across from her, not lecturing, not prying, just silently refilling her glass when it was empty, occasionally sliding a tissue across the table. His quiet presence, his unspoken support gave her a strange sense of safety. As the haze of drunkenness deepened, fragments of old memories began to surface unbidden. She remembered the terrifying earthquake from her childhood. The ground shaking, buildings collapsing, being trapped under the rubble, darkness, fear, despair. Just when she thought she was going to die, a beam of light broke through and a little boy desperately clawed away the stones, pulling her out of the wreckage. His arm was ripped open by sharp rocks, bleeding badly. She'd been so terrified, then all she remembered was him telling her not to be scared before handing her over to the rescue workers. She hadn't even properly seen his face, only the stark white scar against his skin and his gentle, firm voice. Later she'd spent years searching for him. Until she met Ethan in college. One day by chance she saw a faded scar on the inside of his forearm. Excited she asked him if he was the boy who'd rescued a little girl in the earthquake. Ethan had paused, then smiled and admitted it was him. He said he'd been young and scared too and had hurt his arm, saving her, leaving the scar. In that moment it felt like fate. The hero she'd been searching for was the man she loved. This destined coincidence had deepened her feelings for Ethan, made her even more reliant on him. But now, a chilling thought, uninvited, wormed its way into her mind. Ethan's scar, though also on the inside of his arm, the location, the shape seemed slightly different from the scar she remembered on her rescuer. The scar in her memory was longer, deeper, like it had been carved in by something sharp. Ethan's scar was fainter, shallower, more like a scratch that had healed. She'd never doubted it before because she'd already decided he was the one. But now, with Ethan's betrayal hanging over her, this small doubt ballooned into something huge. Could it be that he wasn't her rescuer at all? That he'd just taken credit for it? The thought sent a shiver of cold through her, colder than the rain outside. She snapped her head up, looking at Noah across the table. Fueled by alcohol and the suspicion that was now spiraling in my mind, I stared into his eyes and asked, trying to sound casual, "Noah, didn't you say you were from the earthquake zone too?" Noah's hand holding his drink paused almost imperceptibly before he nodded. "Yeah, that's right. And were you there during the earthquake?" I pressed, my heart pounding faster than I could control. Noah's eyes flickered like he was trying to recall something or maybe avoid something altogether. "Yeah, I was," he said, setting down his glass, his voice a little lower. "It was chaos back then, so many people. Did you get hurt in your arm?" I interrupted, my eyes burning into the arm hidden beneath his suit sleeve. Noah visibly froze. His hand on the bar clenched unconsciously and his eyes darted away, panicked. "And nothing. Just a little scratch, it's all healed now." His reaction was too forced, too deliberate. The panic and evasion were practically screaming guilt. My heart pounded harder, a wild guess forming in my mind. Could it be? Could Noah be? I didn't dare to finish the thought, but the idea was already taking root like vines, wrapping around me, tightening their grip. The alcohol had completely obliterated my reason. Sadness, anger, suspicion, and this inexplicable urge to grasp at something, anything, drove me to do something reckless. I leaned forward, reaching across the bar, and hooked my arms around Noah's neck. He was clearly taken aback by my move. His body instantly stiffened and his breath hitched in his throat. "Ava, you've had too much to drink," he said, trying to gently pull my hands away, his voice betraying a faint tremor. "I'm not drunk," I whispered, leaning closer, my warm alcohol-laced breath ghosting over his ear. "Noah, tell me, do you have a scar on your arm?" His body jolted and he looked at me, his eyes filled with a complex mix of emotions, his Adam's apple bobbing nervously. I looked at his face so close to mine, at the suppressed emotions swirling in his eyes, and then, as if compelled by some unseen force, I kissed him. The moment our lips met, I felt his initial stiffness, and then almost immediately his response turned almost frantic, like he was losing control. Chaos, heat, surrender. Alcohol, the perfect catalyst and the worst possible excuse. I have no idea how Noah and I left the bar or how we ended up back in my hotel room. Maybe subconsciously I needed an outlet, a way to lash out, to get back at Ethan in the most extreme way possible, to prove to myself that I wasn't completely worthless. Or maybe it was the nascent suspicion about him being my rescuer that sparked an inexplicable sense of dependence and curiosity. In the darkness, clothes were strewn across the floor. Skin against skin, burning hot. Noah's kisses were filled with a pent-up longing, a tenderness bordering on desperation. He whispered my name over and over, "Ava. Ava," his voice hoarse, thick with complex emotions. Until everything quieted down and the only sound in the room was the rasp of our breathing. The rain outside had stopped and the weak morning light seeped through the gap in the curtains, casting hazy shadows on the floor. I lay in Noah's arms, my body exhausted, but my mind was racing, unervingly clear. A throbbing hangover headache slammed into me, accompanied by flashes of last night's reckless abandon, leaving a gaping hole of emptiness and regret. What had I done? Just then my eyes drifted unintentionally to Noah's arm draped across my waist. In the dim light, a clear old scar jumped out at me. The scar snaked down from the inside of his elbow, the length, the shape, the location. It was a perfect match to the scar I remembered from my rescuer. Boom! It felt like my brain had just exploded. All the guesses, all the doubts were brutally confirmed in that single moment. It was him. It really was him. The little boy who had saved me in the rubble years ago was Noah Vance. Not Ethan Hayes. Ethan. He hadn't just betrayed me, he had lied. He had stolen Noah's heroism, deceived me for 5 whole years. The destiny I had treasured, the very foundation of my deep feelings for him, was a complete and utter lie. This realization was more devastating than discovering his infidelity. It wasn't just the collapse of our love, it was the destruction of my faith in everything. I bolted upright in bed, staring fixated at the scar on Noah's arm. Tears welled up again, this time tears of utter despair and complete breakdown. Noah woke up, startled by my sudden movement. He saw my face streaked with tears and a flicker of panic and pain crossed his eyes. He instinctively tried to shield the scar on his arm, but it was too late. "Ava, he started, wanting to explain but lost for words. I looked at him, tears blurring my vision, my voice trembling so badly I could barely speak. It was you all along." I lost it completely, covering my face, and let out a choked, painful sob. My life felt like one giant cruel joke. Day had fully broken. Less than 3 hours remained until the scheduled wedding ceremony. My tears had run dry, leaving behind a deathly calm. After the breakdown came an unnerving clarity and a white-hot rage. I grabbed my phone and dialed the number I knew by heart. The call was answered almost immediately. Ethan's voice, laced with impatience and the grogginess of a hangover, barked, "Ava, what is it now?" "I told you, Ethan Hayes." I cut him off, my voice cold as ice. "The wedding is off." Silence stretched on the other end of the line, then his voice exploded, rising in pitch. "What did you just say? Ava, are you insane? Do you even know what day it is? Everyone's already here." "Of course I know what day it is," I sneered coldly. "That's exactly why I'm canceling it. I find it dirty." "What the hell are you talking about?" "What do I mean?" I repeated, each word clipped and clear. "What I mean is I'm not marrying a man who spends the night before our wedding screwing around with another woman, especially my bridesmaid, in some hotel miles away. Ethan, you're beneath me." "Ava." Let me explain. Chloe and we were just... He started to bluster, trying to explain away the impossible. Enough. I snapped, cutting him off again. Ethan, don't insult my intelligence any further. And another thing, what about that scar on your arm? How do you explain that? At the mention of the scar, Ethan's voice faltered, a noticeable pause before he forced a tone of false calm. Scar? What scar? You mean that one? Haven't I already told you about it? Really? My voice dripped with sarcasm. Then you better pray your lies are convincing enough to fool everyone. Without waiting for his reply, I hung up, not wanting to hear another word out of his lying mouth. Then I opened Instagram. I found the photo Chloe had posted last night, the one that had seared itself into my brain, and took a screenshot. Then I turned my head and looked at Noah beside me, his expression a complex mix of emotions, words hovering on his lips unspoken. Noah, I said, looking at him, my eyes strangely calm. Do me a favor. Noah paused. What? Come closer. As Noah watched, puzzled, I adjusted the angle, framing the two of us close together in my phone's camera lens. My face was expressionless while Noah's eyes were filled with worry and a hint of guilt. Click. The photo was taken. Without a moment's hesitation, I posted the picture along with the screenshot of Chloe's intimate hotel photo to my Instagram story. Caption was brief. Wedding cancelled. Thanks to Mr. Ethan Hayes and Miss Chloe Bishop for this wedding gift. I knew what kind of storm this post would unleash. But I didn't care. If they dared to do it, they shouldn't be afraid of people knowing. I wanted everyone to see the true colors of this disgusting pair. They owed me this. After posting, I tossed my phone aside, feeling like a heavy burden had been lifted. Silence filled the room. Noah looked at me, his expression incredibly complex. Guilt, heartache, conflict. Finally melting into a deep sigh. Ava, I'm sorry, he finally said, his voice hoarse. I knew the truth about the scar on Ethan's arm. I knew he was lying to you. My heart clenched painfully. I looked up at him. You knew all along? Noah nodded with difficulty. Yeah. Back then during the earthquake, I was the one who saved you. And he was nearby too. Later, when he found out you were looking for me, he didn't finish, but I understood everything. Not only had Ethan stolen the credit, but Noah, my actual savior, had helped him hide the truth. An indescribable wave of disappointment and anger surged through me. Then why didn't you tell me? I demanded, my voice trembling slightly. Do you know how much that meant to me? Do you know what that lie represented? I know. Noah's voice suddenly rose, his eyes filled with pain. I know. But Ava, I didn't dare say anything. He looked at me, his eyes practically pleading. Ethan's my best friend. We grew up together. More importantly, I saw how happy you were, how much you loved him because you believed he was your savior. I was afraid. I was afraid if I told the truth, you'd hate me, think I was a liar too. And I was more afraid, his voice dropped, laced with an almost desperate vulnerability, that the truth would make you leave him, and I had no right to stand by your side. I was stunned. What do you mean? Noah took a deep breath, as if steeling himself, and looked directly into my eyes. Clearly and deliberately, word by word, he said, Ava, I love you. I've loved you since the first time I saw you in college. I know I shouldn't feel this way. You were Ethan's girlfriend, my best friend's love. So I kept it hidden deep inside, just watching you quietly, hoping you'd be happy. But when I saw how Ethan treated you, saw how much pain you were in, I couldn't hold back anymore. Last night, I'm sorry I lost control, but every word I said was true. His gaze was sincere and intense, brimming with years of suppressed deep affection. I looked at him, at the scar on his arm, a scar he got because of me, at the undisguised love and pain in his eyes. My mind was a mess. The fury of being deceived and betrayed still burned, but somewhere deep inside, a part of me stirred faintly at his confession. So all this time, hidden in the corners, I never saw someone had been quietly loving me for years. So the light I had been desperately searching for had been beside me all along. What should I do? Hate him for hiding the truth. But wasn't he a victim too? Used by his friend, forced to watch the woman he loved live a lie. Last night's recklessness suddenly seemed to make more sense. It wasn't just alcohol and a desire for revenge. Perhaps there was also a subconscious trust and closeness towards him. After a long silence, I looked at Noah and said softly, Noah, take me away from here. Away from this place filled with lies and betrayal. His eyes instantly lit up with sheer joy. He nodded forcefully. Okay. Just as Noah and I finished packing ready to leave the hotel, my phone started ringing frantically. It was Ethan. I took a deep breath, answered, and put it on speaker. Ava Miller. You bitch. How dare you do this to me? Ethan's roar came through the receiver, thick with exasperated fury. What the hell did you mean by posting those pictures? Are you trying to ruin me? Ruin you? I laughed coldly. You ruined yourself, Ethan. Along with your good friend Chloe. And you dare to hook up with Noah. When did you two start screwing around? No wonder you canceled the wedding. You shameless woman. He spewed insults without thinking. Standing beside me, Noah's expression instantly darkened, his fists clenching. I gestured for him to stay calm and replied coolly into the phone. Who I'm with is none of your business, Ethan. We're over. You betrayed me first. I'm just making you face the consequences for your actions. Face the consequences? Ethan's voice grew more agitated. Ava, don't forget who gave you everything you have now. Your job, your connections, even the apartment you live in. Without me, what do you think you are? His words stung like a needle. Yes, after graduation, my first job was at Ethan's family company, Hayes Corporation. And over the years, I had benefited from his connections, meeting certain people. But that didn't mean I was just some vine clinging to him. My performance, my skills, I earned those through my own hard work. Ethan Hayes, my voice turned cold, carrying an unprecedented firmness, cut the arrogant bullshit. I earned my job with my own abilities and I built my network myself. Even without you, I, Ava Miller, can survive just fine and I'll live even better. Who do you think you are? Without me, you're nothing. You think I can't make sure you're finished in this industry? He started blatantly threatening me. Really? I scoffed. Then let's wait and see. We'll see who ends up finished. And I paused, adding, don't call and harass me again. Otherwise, I won't mind making more interesting things public. With that, I hung up and blocked his number. Finally silenced. Noah looked at me, his eyes full of worry. Ava, he might retaliate. I lifted my head, met his gaze, my own firm. I know. But I'm not afraid of him. From the moment I decided not to give in, I was ready for a fight. Ethan's retaliation came swiftly and just as despicably as I'd expected. Overnight, my Instagram and all my public social media accounts were flooded with an onslaught of abuse and attacks. The filth being spewed was vile, almost unbearable to read. Homewrecker. Steals her best friend's boyfriend and then plays the victim. Scheming bitch. Cheats with the best man the night before the wedding and pretends she's wronged. Shameless gold digger. This kind of woman should be dragged through the mud. It was obvious Ethan had hired trolls, twisting the narrative, trying to pin all the blame on me. They painted me as a vicious, manipulative woman who cheated and betrayed everyone just to latch onto Noah, since Noah also came from a wealthy family, though not as powerful as Ethan's. Meanwhile, Ethan and Chloe were portrayed as the poor victims I had supposedly framed. Public opinion was almost unanimously against me. I stared at the venomous comments, my fingers turning ice cold. I knew this was Ethan's doing, but I hadn't imagined he could sink this low, be this shameless. What hurt even more was that Noah was being dragged into this mess because of me. Many comments started attacking Noah, calling him a fool, the guy who picked up the trash, a backstabber who stole from his own friend. Noah stayed by my side, constantly comforting me, trying to help clear my name, but the more he defended me, the fiercer the attacks became. I couldn't drag him down with me. He was already burdened with guilt for hiding the truth, and now he was suffering unwarranted attacks because of me. Watching his face grow increasingly haggard with worry for me, I made a difficult decision. One evening I said to him, Noah, we should take a break. Noah froze, staring at me in disbelief. Ava, what are you saying? Why? Is it because of those online comments? Don't pay attention to them, that's all Ethan's doing. I know, I interrupted, forcing my voice to sound cold and distant. But maybe they're right. We're just not right for each other. Not right. Noah's voice cracked with hurt. Ava, last night was a mistake. I forced myself to say the cruelest words. I drank too much and Ethan provoked me so. No, I'm sorry, I can't be with you. Noah's face instantly turned deathly pale. He looked at me, his eyes filled with pain and confusion. Ava, you don't mean that, do you? You're just trying to protect me, aren't you? I turned away, unable to meet his gaze. No. I just realized I need to be alone right now. Please leave. Ava. Go. I practically yelled, shoving him away with all my strength. Noah stumbled back, then stood still, staring at me for several seconds. The light in his eyes slowly dimmed. Finally, without another word, he turned and left. Hearing the door click shut, I couldn't hold myself up any longer. I collapsed onto the floor, tears streaming silently down my face. I'm sorry, Noah Kropka. This is the only way I can protect you. After Noah left the room, descended into a dead silence. I curled up on the sofa, feeling utterly abandoned by the world. Betrayed by my lover, turned against by my best friend, and now I had pushed away the only potential light, myself. The overwhelming wave of cyberbullying continued to escalate. My phone buzzed incessantly with notifications, all hateful messages and curses. I felt like I was about to break. Just then an unknown number called. I hesitated for a moment, then answered. Hello. My voice was hoarse and exhausted. Star, it's Dad. A steady, gentle male voice came through the line. It was my father. Ever since I insisted on being independent after starting college, rejecting the family's arrangements, and choosing to be with Ethan, my relationship with my family had become somewhat distant. They hadn't approved of Ethan, feeling that while his family had money, he himself was morally bankrupt and unworthy of me. But I'd been blinded by love back then, stubbornly going my own way. I never expected him to call me now at a time like this. Dad, my nose stung and tears welled up again. Silly girl, why didn't you tell us you were being treated this way? My father's voice was filled with heartache. We saw everything online. Dad, I choked up, unable to speak. Don't be afraid, Dad's here. His voice was firm and strong. A mere Hayes Corp isn't enough to stir up real trouble. Do whatever you need to do. Your father and your brother will always be your strongest support. But Ethan, I know he threatened you once to ruin your career in the industry? My father scoffed. He thinks too highly of himself. Since when does a daughter of the Miller family need to bow to anyone? Miller family. I paused, stunned. My father sighed. Star, Dad knows you've always wanted to rely on yourself, not on the family. But now isn't the time to be stubborn. Have you forgotten who your grandfather is? Forgotten Miller Holdings. Miller Holdings. The name struck my mind like a lightning bolt. Of course I knew Miller Holdings. It was one of the world's top multinational investment groups with interests spanning finance, technology, energy, and numerous other sectors. Assets in the hundreds of billions. A true business empire. And my grandfather was the founder of Miller Holdings. My father was the current chairman. I was the heiress to a multi-billion-dollar fortune. The reality was so staggering that I couldn't process it immediately. I always knew my family was wealthy, but I never imagined this level of wealth. My parents had always been low-key, respecting my desire for independence, never interfering much, just quietly offering support when I needed it. No wonder Dad said a mere Hayes Corp couldn't cause real trouble. Compared to Miller Holdings, Ethan's family business was indeed insignificant. Dad, I was so overwhelmed I could barely form words. You don't need to say anything, child, my father's voice softened. Remember, you are a Miller. No one gets to bully you. Do whatever you feel you need to do. If anything happens, Dad will handle it. Hanging up the phone, I felt like I'd been injected with pure adrenaline. So I wasn't alone and helpless. So I had such powerful backing. Ethan Hayes, you want to destroy me? Let's see who destroys whom first. The confusion and vulnerability in my eyes vanished, replaced by a fiercely burning fighting spirit. Just as I ended the call with my father, another unexpected caller ID popped up. Chloe Bishop. She still had the nerve to call me. I pressed answer, saying nothing. Ava, I really didn't think you'd have the face to stay in the hotel. Chloe's sharp, malicious voice dripped with undisguised glee and schadenfreude. How does it feel? Being trashed by everyone. Snatching. I scoffed, a dry laugh escaping my lips. Chloe, honey, you're picking up my trash and acting like it's treasure. Q. Chloe choked on my words, her voice rising in a frustrated screech. Ava Miller. Don't get cocky. Ethan said he's going to ruin you, make you lose everything. Let's see how arrogant you are then. Is that so? My voice was even devoid of emotion. Well, you can tell him for me to go right ahead and try. We'll see who ends up with nothing. Still playing tough, huh? Chloe's voice went up another notch. You think Noah Vance can protect you forever? He's just a spoiled rich kid living off his family. When Ethan gets serious, Noah won't even be able to save himself. Hearing her insult Noah, my eyes narrowed, the temperature dropping several degrees. Chloe, you should worry about your own mess. Instead of obsessing over others, maybe think about yourself. How long do you think you can be happy with a man you stole by betraying your friend? What are you implying? Nothing much, I said coolly. Just a friendly reminder that not everything is up for grabs. Be careful you don't get burned. Are you threatening me? Not a threat, just a word of advice. My voice was icy. And one more thing, don't call my phone again. You're disgusting. With that, I hung up and immediately blocked her number. Talking to someone like her was a waste of breath. My battlefield wasn't in pointless verbal sparring. I packed my meager belongings, ready to leave this suffocating hotel. As soon as I stepped out of the elevator, Noah was waiting in the lobby. He looked worn out, dark circles under his eyes, clearly not sleeping well for days. Seeing me, he hurried over, his eyes filled with stubborn concern. Ava, are you really leaving? I stopped, looking at him, a pang of hurt in my chest. Noah, I told you I know you're trying to protect me. He interrupted, his voice urgent. But I'm not afraid. Ava, I can't let you face this alone. Let me be with you, please. His eyes pleaded with me, filled with undeniable affection. My resolve wavered. But reason told me this wasn't the time. Dragging him into this before I dealt with Ethan would only put him in more danger. I hardened my heart, shaking my head, my voice deliberately cold. No, please stop. I don't need your protection. Let's just end this here. I walked past him, dragging my suitcase towards the exit. Noah didn't follow, just stood there watching my back, his eyes filled with sadness. Stepping out of the hotel, a black Rolls-Royce Phantom silently pulled up in front of me. The door opened and a well-dressed, distinguished middle-aged man stepped out. My father. Dad, I said softly. My father walked up and without asking questions gently patted my shoulder. Let's go home. He took my suitcase, handed it to the bodyguard behind him, and opened the car door for me. Sitting in the spacious, comfortable car, I was instantly insulated from the noise and chaos outside. My father handed me a bottle of water. Star, what are you planning to do next? I looked out at the blurring streetscape, my eyes hardening with resolve. Dad, I want to hold a press conference. Oh. My father raised an eyebrow, seemingly unsurprised. I'm going to expose everything Ethan Hayes and Chloe Bishop have done. I said, each word clear and deliberate. I'm going to make them pay for what they've done. Good. My father nodded, a hint of approval in his eyes. What do you need me to do? I need you to help me gather some evidence. My voice was calm and clear. Information about Ethan Hayes embezzling company funds, insider trading, and all the illegal activities Hayes Corp has been involved in over the years. If I was going to fight back, it had to be a knockout blow. I wasn't just going to ruin Ethan Hayes' reputation. I was going to make him pay the legal price for his greed and shamelessness. My father looked at me, a relieved smile spreading across his face. No problem. Leave that to me. You just focus on preparing for the press conference and tell the world who you are. I took a deep breath and nodded. Ethan Hayes, your good times are over. 3 days later, I rented the largest ballroom in the city's premier hotel and held a press conference. The room was blinding, with flashing lights packed to capacity. Reporters from every major media outlet were present, their cameras and microphones pointed at the podium. I knew they were all here to see me crash and burn, eager to dig up every juicy detail of this high society scandal. Wearing a sharp white pantsuit, my makeup polished and professional, I walked to the podium alone. No trace of disarray or exhaustion, only composure and determination. The room filled with the clicking of camera shutters and hushed whispers. I reached the microphone, scanned the room, and spoke clearly. Thank you all for coming today. I know there have been many questions and speculations surrounding the recent rumors about me. I've called this press conference to set the record straight. First, I, Ava Miller, am officially announcing the termination of my engagement to Mr. Ethan Hayes. The room erupted in a murmur of shock and surprise. Ignoring the reaction, I continued, "The reason for this termination is not as some false rumors have suggested because I've fallen for someone else or have ulterior motives. It is because Mr. Ethan Hayes, on the eve of our wedding, engaged in an inappropriate relationship at a hotel in San Francisco with my former friend, Miss Chloe Bishop, betraying our love and our commitment to each other." As the words left my mouth, a large screen behind me flickered to life, playing a video. It was security footage from a hotel hallway obtained through special channels, clearly showing Ethan and Chloe disheveled and intimate entering a hotel room together. Immediately following was an even more explosive video, footage from Chloe's own phone leaked through unknown means, showing her and Ethan in far more explicit scenes and conversations within the hotel room, their words dripping with mockery and disdain for me. When the videos ended, the room fell silent, everyone stunned by the undeniable evidence. This is the reason for my decision to end the engagement. My voice was cold. Regarding the damage and reputational harm caused to me by Mr. Ethan Hayes and Miss Chloe Bishop, I reserve the right to pursue legal action. Secondly, I shifted gears, my voice becoming even more resolute. Regarding the malicious defamation and personal attacks against me online, I have already instructed my lawyers to collect evidence and will hold all individuals and organizations involved in creating and spreading these rumors legally accountable. Finally, there's one more thing I want to make clear. I straightened my spine, my gaze sweeping across the room. From today onwards, I am dedicating myself fully to my career. I don't need to rely on anyone to create my own value. Thank you all for your attention. With that, I gave a slight nod, ready to conclude this press conference. Just as I was about to turn and leave, the ballroom doors were flung open with force. Ethan Hayes stormed in, his face contorted in rage, followed by several security guards trying to restrain him. He'd clearly seen the live broadcast of the press conference and rushed over in a fit of fury. "Ava Miller. You crazy woman. How dare you release that stuff?" Ethan's eyes were bloodshot as he pointed at me, yelling, "You're trying to ruin me, aren't you?" The reporters in the room instantly went into a frenzy, all cameras turning to focus on the sudden intrusion of Ethan. This was even more explosive than the videos from before. I looked at his enraged state, feeling nothing but a faint sense of amusement. "The person who ruined you is yourself, Ethan." I picked up the microphone, my voice clear and resonant throughout the venue. "Your own choices led to today's consequences. You're talking nonsense." Ethan broke free from the security guards and charged to the front of the stage, pointing a finger at my nose and roaring, "You're just trying to get revenge on me. You vicious woman. Let me tell you, you won't get away with this. I'll make you pay." "Oh, really?" I looked at him coldly. "What kind of price are you going to make me pay? Like before hiring internet trolls to badmouth me online? Or are you going to get your so-called powerful dad to suppress me?" My words clearly hit a nerve. Ethan's face darkened even further. "Ava Miller. You just wait," he threatened through gritted teeth. "You'll regret everything you've done today." "Regret?" I scoffed, meeting his hate-filled gaze, and said word by word, "My biggest regret is ever meeting you, trusting you, and wasting 5 years of my youth on scum like you. You." Ethan was trembling with rage, raising his hand to strike me. Just as Ethan's hand was about to land, a stronger hand firmly grasped his wrist. It was Noah. He had arrived at the scene unnoticed and stepped in front of me, his eyes icy as he stared at Ethan. "Ethan, that's enough." Noah's voice was low and powerful. "Don't embarrass yourself any further." "Noah." Ethan saw Noah as if witnessing something even more unbelievable. "You dare show your face here? You traitor. You chose this woman over your own brother." Noah shook off Ethan's hand, his tone resolute. "From the moment you cheated on Ava and used me, we were no longer brothers. You." Ethan was speechless with anger, pointing at Noah, then at me. "Fine. Fine. You two, you'll both pay for this." Noah ignored his ranting, turning to me, his eyes filled with concern and apology. "Ava, are you all right?" I shook my head, giving him a grateful smile. The fact that he stood up for me at this moment, publicly breaking ties with Ethan, spoke volumes. The reporters in the room were snapping photos like crazy, documenting this dramatic scene. High society drama, brotherly betrayal, love triangle. There were just too many headline-grabbing moments today. Just as the scene was on the verge of chaos, a commanding voice boomed, "Enough. All of you stop this nonsense." The crowd parted and a middle-aged man in a dark suit, his hair neatly combed back and a stern expression on his face, walked in. It was Ethan's father, the chairman of Hayes Corp., Mr. Hayes. He was followed by several company executives, all looking grim. Mr. Hayes had clearly seen the press conference too, his face ashen. He walked straight up to Ethan and without a word delivered a sharp, resounding slap across his face. Smack. The crisp sound of the slap echoed through the room. Everyone was stunned. Ethan covered his cheek, looking at his father in disbelief. "Dad, you hit me. I hit you to knock some sense into you, you unfilial son." Mr. Hayes was trembling with anger, pointing at Ethan and berating him. "Look at the mess you've made. You've dragged the Hayes family name through the mud.